Today's topic is very interesting. It is interface management facilitated the owner furnished equipment, which is OFE, on the oil and gas mega projects. By the way, my name is Rafiq Khadimally, and I am a project consultant. And I was actually planning to write a book on this one. It is a part of my one of several experiences which I have got and I wish to share. But I ended up publishing two books so far. The first book is Interface Management Energized Concurrent Engineering on Mega Projects, which is available on Amazon.com. And the second one was on this topic about the OFEs. But I had another client who spoke with me about my refinery experience. I wear the other hat, that I was in Saudi Arabia, Aramco, Jeddah, Petroman Jeddah oil refinery as a project engineer. That there was a surplus refinery in America, and so I went ahead and created a presentation and that book, and I got it published. So its book is also available. It is Refinery Relocation Project, 5 phases of project management, also available on Amazon.com. So then, pardon me that I delayed this particular topic, but luckily I had discussed it with another company. They are a small company, and they asked me that we have a lot of issues for the owner furnished equipment. And how would you resolve it how would you consult it for us? And I said, this one, I thought I resolved it for the industry around 13 years ago. But without naming name, it happened on one of my projects. Okay, so let us see. Let me try to make you understand what it is. So whenever an oil and gas mega project, let's say an offshore project comes up, so offshore project consists of a top side and a hull, or a top side or a jacket. Okay, so let's say you have a client. Client could be Exxon, Shell, BP, anybody. And you have on the other side the EPC company, which could be McDermott, you see, which could be Foster Wheeler, which could be Worley Parson, it could be Bechtel, okay, and Wilson Offshore, whichever. When that thing is going on, at the time of concept, there is no feed, there is no pre-feed, but the concept is taking place with the owner, and the owner determines that there are some long lead items which need to be ordered quickly. And I give you the example of a long lead item. Long lead, the way the name says, means it's going to take a lot of time. A vapor recovery compressor is one of them, for example. Okay, Nuovo Pignoni, Italian company, they are one of the best manufacturers in America. We have GE. We have also Dresser-Rand, a wonderful, remarkable, world great company. And they would normally take 24 months. So now even the client have not placed the EPC contract yet, but they will go ahead and place the order for these items. That's why they are called owner furnished, that we as owner, we are going to give you free of charge for the project. So that is the way then EPC contract is signed. You got it now? Now, EPC contractor will do its own engineering, and they will order their own engineering packages. And they will procure them from various vendors. OFE, the client have got it from the OFE vendor, the way as I explained it to you. Okay. So what happened now? Next door to me was the PMT, the project management team member, engineering, and any type of a vendor data related to the OFEs, which is coming, he was the sole recipient of it. He will take a lot of time to review it, and then piece by piece, he will pass it on to our people. And there were many interface items which were being generated by my disciplines. And I looked at them and I said, no, looks like there is something, missing. There is an ineffective interface management. Hell, looks like the counterparts are not the electrical engineer of the EPC company is not talking to the electrical engineer of the client, the mechanical engineer, vice versa, is not talking, the process engineer is not talking. Okay. And by the way, he had the interface portfolio also. So he was in a way my counterpart. So I went down to him. I said, I'm not raising any interface item. No, this has to be resolved today, right there in that room. And I said, why are you holding on those things? You will let those be reviewed by our people just as their own packages which they have ordered. Now, I had a lot of experience on this one. You see, as I told you, I worked for, on the EPC side, I worked for McDermott, SPM, Atlantia Offshore. Okay, then on the client side, I worked for the Aramco refinery, Jeddah Oil Petromin refinery, and also then Chevron Angola. And again, EPC, I was with Bechtel on the floating LNG project. So I had known this thing the way back of my hand, but it was very surprising. So around an hour of a discussion, he got convinced, and then he thought, I told him what would be the delay and how it is going to hurt the project. And ultimately, you are going to be responsible for it. And he said, okay, Rafiq, then what should I do? I said, the very first thing you are going to give it to me right now is you can darken the price. I'm not interested in price. Unpriced purchase order copy of the long lead items or the OFE, the owner furnished item, all of them to me. One thing. Secondly, you're going to write down the email to them with copy back to me that their vendor data, the way it is coming to you, it has to come to us simultaneously. These were the two things that we done. And now let me talk about how we manage in the document control the vendor data. The EPC company has got a document control. And on those bigger projects, we have a common document control. We do not have a document control with the client and another one with the EPC. The client agrees to have one common document control. Similarly, I was the common interface manager on the project. They did not have another interface manager. I will interface with their EPM, engineering project manager, and all other. I will interface with everybody, but they did not hire another interface manager. We were in the team of which is called PMT. Okay, so the vendor data is the engineers sit down with the document control and they create what is called a distribution matrix, purchase order by purchase order, package, engineering package by engineering package. They will start with the general arrangement drawing, how vendor data, one line diagram, equipment list, cause and effect diagram, electrical control system, all what the documents weight control, whichever would be coming, and those are given a certain code. Now I want to give you example. GA is the general arrangement. It is the way by name, but in one company it was AA. Maybe I worked in a company where the general arrangement drawing was called AA because it was in the series, it was the first document, which is obviously distributed to everybody. And they have got that matrix. So once the data from the vendor comes, now vendor is supposed to highlight the code, which document it is. So the document controller doesn't have to scratch his head, which type of a document is it? Well, sometimes it happens, you know what the document controller does? He will immediately go to the concerned package engineer and ask him what it is. So it will be clarified, okay? So that thing happens this way. So two things happen that, I let him to send the email immediately, which he did, copy back to me, and then we put it on our list. We included it in our equipment list where we had our equipment list. We did not go for having two lists, one equipment list by us and another list by the client. We merged it together. It was a tag number was given, its dimensions were given, its vendor's contact address, what is the telephone, email address, and all those kind of things were there. So our project expediters will go and get the documents from them. And then the documents were distributed within the team based on the distribution matrix. And that resolved the issue. Okay, at the tail end of it, I have got my introduction here. I'm going to show you the presentation in just a minute. So I'm a BS mechanical engineer. I hold an MBA degree, and also I'm a project management professional. I have worked 30 plus years on onshore, offshore projects, also with the client, with the EPC companies, and also with I work for ABS, the certification company. So I have got all the three phases of experience. And imagine what I am doing. In addition to consulting, now I also am imparting my knowledge to the younger generation. So I am my friends would be very much enthused to know that I am a visiting professor at the Jesse Jones School of Business at TSU. Now, TSU is a great alma mater, by the way. It is 1926 it got established, and it is tsu.edu. So anyone who wishes to have the management, well, I'm in the School of Business. There are 9 or 10 schools there, law and all those kind of things. So, and I teach operations management, and previously I taught supply chain management, project management, and one more subject I like very much, which is called BADM, and it is business, government, and society. Okay, so I have my contact information here, and I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you very much for that.